Midtown just got a little new fresh flavor with the grand opening of Olivo Deli Market. The Zatar brothers kicked things off by treating the neighborhood to free samples from their affordable $5 sub menu. The market promises shoppers with shelves stocked full of freshly sliced meats, produce, and 99-cent coffee. And with plans to expand their offerings even more, the Zatar brothers hope Olivo Deli serves more than just food to the community they proudly call home.
We've always been saying how much we want to be part of the communities in Rockford, outside of Rockford, and this was one of them. And we are so blessed to be part of it. I hope they love what we do and keep supporting us so we can do more and help other entrepreneurs to do the same thing.